Welcome back, viewers, to another edition of Heads Up. Neil Davis and the GOAT to take you through a bit of racing and not so much sporting action, maybe a little bit of controversy, Neil, or good to see that we're still allowed to broadcast our podcast after last week. You had a bit of feedback, I take it, on some of the topics raised?
Yeah, a lot of feedback, and that's good to see. People speaking their mind, and if we want to get this industry back on its even keel and heading forward, we've got to get these things, the simple things, right. One of the key things, I had 3 messages about radio trackside, and I know you've got a comment about this as well. And I listen to it even on a Saturday, have it going in the background, because A, you get information from the trainers and riders, and B, you get the results straight away, plus you get a live commentary. And you're getting all this information that you can't get if you haven't got TV in front of you. And people are just not betting because of that.
Yeah, I listen to radio trackside when I'm in the car, which I seem to be a fair bit. Spend a fair bit of time in there. And yeah, last week I was driving around and I thought to myself, if there was radio trackside, I might have been tempted to have a bet. But with no radio coverage when you're in the car, you're not going to have a bet. So it's going to be interesting to see the impact of that decision on turnover. So time will tell, as they say, Neil.
It's a no-brainer. It's just got to come back. And things like overseas bookies offering 9 times out of 10 better odds than the New Zealand TAB. You know, if they're like, I was looking at today's odds compared to Saturday. Every favourite, second favourite is 10, 20 cents less than Australian. So I just don't get it. You know, if you want people to pump with this. Now, I think with the Department of Internal Affairs giving Winston the all clear to legislate to block New Zealand punters from using overseas accounts, it's going to happen. So the TAB site's got to get its act sorted out, because it's just going to go downhill fast.
Well, we will break some news later in the podcast about that. Stay tuned.
Yep. And other things people mentioned was what else? Just having information for punters to use. People know that I'm not going to be doing the reviews for the TAB anymore, and from what I've heard, I don't know who's going to do them, but the quality of them. But anyway, there's going to be some good news for Form Pro subscribers about that anyway in the next couple of weeks, and the sections as well. So information is vital for punters.
Did I hear, or is this urban myth, are they getting rid of the extended form PDFs as well? Or is that, have you heard that?
No, I haven't, but
yeah.
We'll
see. We'll see. A little whisper did suggest that, but I haven't confirmed it, so I probably shouldn't have said anything. But yeah, information will be key. But hey, I was thinking this morning, Neil, it does open up an opportunity for people like yourself who can provide that information, and punters will come looking for it. And if you're the only place in town that offers it, well, that gives you a bit of a advantage, and people will be subscribing in their droves to the Form Pro website, perhaps.
Basically, any punter who enjoys racing, you've got to have the form lines. You don't have to have the sectionals, but having the times and sectionals at your fingertips, it's just going to give you information to have a bet. But yeah, time will tell. So, what else? Oh, the Quaddie Syndicate. It's kicking off this week, and gee, I was surprised the reaction to it. A lot of people are really keen to get into it. So.
No pressure?
No, I've done that before. My philosophy is just make sure you do your homework thoroughly and watch the races leading up to the first Quaddie League and go with your judgment and just hope you get it right. But you know, sometimes you're going to get it wrong more often than not. But if we can get over that 6 weeks, 2 or 3 even decent sized ones, we should come out on top.
What meetings are you going to do the Quaddie on tomorrow?
Looking like Melbourne at this stage with a heavy track with the 4 big even fields. Doomben's fairly tight in the markets. Some of the favourites there looks like they'll win. Your Isotope, I think that's one of the legs, looks like a winner. And Randwick is a soft 6 at the moment as we're speaking, but rain is forecast today and could get back to heavy, which could make it harder for punters, which would make it more attractive for us because a bigger price might eventuate. So we'll wait and see. least Melbourne at this stage anyway. And it closes tonight. People are watching this. It does close tonight for subscribers, so get into that by tonight. Right. Last week's, well, no, it's a preview race, shall we?
Yeah, I think it's
Why
Eagle
not?
Farm. Are we at Eagle Farm? Yeah.
Eagle Farm, yeah, good track tomorrow.
Yeah.
Forecast looks okay. Yeah,
Well, the
pretty
feature, probably the race 8 on the card, the TAB Victory Stakes, Group 2 over the 1200. Probably a few horses here just having their final run before the Stradbroke in about 3 weeks' time, I think.
Yeah.
Even field, you've got Vega 1, horse that's been in the media for probably the wrong reasons of late, the $4.50 favourite. But Kementari, a horse that looks so good, went to stud, has come back, hasn't really delivered. $5.50. I think the bookies will be happy if they'll be cheering that one on to get beat, because it always seems to get backed and doesn't deliver. It'd be a bookie's favourite. I'm picking Kementari.
Right, yeah.
But you've found something outside of those two, I believe, Neil.
Yeah, actually, the first thing I do when I do a race with a bit of form, I'll click on the speed map, have a look, and there's a distinct lack of pace in this race. We've got up here. We have got Deep Image going forward and Free of Death out wide, $41 shot. Tambo's Mate and Foxtrot on the inside, kicking up, looking like they would be very happy to trail a horse like Deep Image. A Winter Bride might come across as well, but I can't see them going hard like they did. Well, they didn't go hard in this race last time, a couple of weeks ago. So I can see a moderate tempo, and Deep Image is the horse I do like. Third up, good run last up, just got done on the post. Always liked this horse, and I think if he can get a soft section on mid-race, he's going to prove a really great chance at about $10 each way.
Yep. The jockey's in form, Steph Thornton. So why not? Why not?
Put each way chance there. And there's a couple of good bits there. We mentioned Isotype before. That's the horse we got stuck into on debut.
It is, yeah. It's one of my favourites.
Because of your eagle eye.
Second up at the Sunshine Coast, I think I read somewhere that its sectionals and its time rating were superior to the open class horses, which I think they came up with some stat that there's only been about 2 horses in the last 10 years that have rated that much superior to open class horses on the day, and both of those went on to be Group 1 winners. So in their careers. So Isotype definitely got a lot of upside, but as you say, pretty short, but looks a dead set winner for mine.
Yeah, it was 250 into 230 now, I think it is. So it's got Wild Ruler in there, but Wild Ruler's a big horse. He's a good horse, but I think Isotype being weighted. Only bad luck would beat it, I think. But I rated it at $2, and it's $2.30 because of Wild Ruler and the other horse in the race, the other favourite. People often ask me, why don't you make those horses a quality bet? And the simple answer is the B word, value. A long time ago, that if you don't get their value long term, you're going to lose. You've got to have that value. They can still win. They could still walk in easily, but to outlay a large amount on a horse that is just not hasn't got that value there, I know long term I'm going to lose. So do that. Don't do it. Yeah, good racing at Eagle Farm tomorrow. So looking forward to that. Now, last week's question.
Yes.
It's a good question. I remember that race quite well.
Yep, Davey Mack called the White Robe Lodge of 2015, I think it was from memory. Yep. The Diamond one won the race, and it was very emotional for the reason being trainer Stephen Anderton passed away, I think, a week prior to, or even less than a week prior to the race in a tragic accident. 7 people remembered that fact. So we better pick a number out between 1 and 7. Whoa, let's find a number we haven't picked for a while. We'll go the Stripes, the 2 rug, number 2.
Aaron P. He's been cleaning it up lately. So no, Aaron P. won again. So I'll put your multi up tomorrow on. So look out for that. A new question.
Yes, new question. With the NRL resuming later in the week. We thought we'd throw an NRL question in. We thought we'd use Neil's favourite NRL team, the mighty Vodafone Warriors, the team that he just loves to watch. And
love to hate to watch. Sort of, yeah.
question is, 25 years ago, the Warriors entered the competition. I think it was still called the Winfield Cup then, maybe not. Anyway, I'm sure you remember their first ever game played at Mount Smart Stadium. Who was their opposition in the Warriors' first ever NRL competition game? If you know the answer to that question, email or text your answers through to Neil, and you could be next week's winner.
Yeah, 027 352 6402, formpro at formpro.co.nz. Make it by Tuesday night, and you can go on that draw. Just going back to you mentioned Winfield Cup, and when I was living in Christchurch, I remember going down to the local DVD store and getting the replays of the previous week's games. Remember those days?
I don't. I remember 1988 was probably when I first really got interested in the Winfield Cup, and I think we might have had an hour's highlight package on TV1. What I do remember is in 1991, 92, I think all the games, bar maybe a Friday night game, were played on the Sunday afternoon. And on the radio, they'd have the ABC coverage, and they'd be like, let's go around the grounds. Lex Marinos, North Sydney 6, Balmain 0. And they'd go around the grounds and just update the scores. That's probably an enduring memory of those early Winfield Cup days. But yeah, I think that 88 grand final is where a lot of people sort of got into 88, 89. 89 it might have been, Canberra and Balmain. Yeah, that was where a lot of people sort of got into the swing of the NRL, and then obviously with the Warriors joining the comp, just added on from there. But yeah, I'm sure people are very much hanging out for a bit of sport in this neck of the woods. Again, it's been a bit of a hiatus, so yep, it'll be interesting to see.
Now, yesterday you messaged me saying you've got the inside info on a new product the TAB is offering. And I said, don't tell me, this is God's truth. Don't tell me, I'll try and guess it tomorrow. So here we are.
Yep.
Three guesses of what it could be. Okay. How about the odds and evens that they have in Australia? Simple bet.
Would you bet on that?
No.
No. And say, luckily, no, that's not it.
Exactors.
Again, would you bet on it, given that the chances of the pool size has been pretty small?
No.
So it's not that either.
Actually,
I hope the TAB are listening here. We are giving them there's 2 bits of feedback we've given them, that we're praising them for making good decisions so far. What's the third one, Neil?
A pick 7 or pick 8, like a terminating pick 6, but something bigger.
No, but yeah, that would be an interesting concept to try and really ramp up that lotto type product.
The dream. Now people can spend $5 or $10.
Exactly.
8 races on a Saturday.
Yeah.
They do it in Australia. That big 7, don't they? Free entry. Even just a free entry.
This is a fixed odds bet. A fixed odds bet that has been used occasionally by the TAB, but is now going to be used on basically every race they take fixed odds betting on, which is basically every race, is what I understand. And I think it's something you would actually bet on, Neil. So again, another tick in the TAB's box.
Try me.
Basically, the concept of the starting gate special that used to have on the radio, money back for second and third. So you've got your deep image at $9 tomorrow. You might get $7, but money back second and third. And that money back is in the form of actual money back, not in bonus bets. So if you put 100 on at 7s, it wins, you get 700. If it runs second or third, you get your 100 back.
It's good. I think maybe for horses that say are $4 or $5 chances, and you do sort of rate them at sort of $3, and they offer you a price of $3.50, and you can only see one of the danger, then depends on how much they put a limit on the bet.
Yeah, well, I don't think there'll be a limit. Obviously, the margin, hey, as we've talked about before, they don't open these products up for punters to win money off them willy-nilly, but it does offer another option.
It does. Excellent idea. I think it's terrific.
So, yeah, we'll give the
Well
TAB
done.
the praise. Hopefully the powers that be are watching this podcast and we are offering a balanced viewpoint. And when they do things well, we'll give them the necessary praise. So obviously the proof will be in the pudding around the prices. Hey, if it's, you can do a bit of maths around what the fair price for a $10 win shot and a $3 place shot should be around what that price should equate to. But hopefully they'll be relatively on the mark with those, and it just gives people a bit of a insurance. I think they're working at the moment on what to call the product, and here's the 4 names that they've come up with, and they're going to come up with a name. Let me find the email that I got yesterday. Sorry, it should have this.
Well, you're looking through there. I think it's a good idea because the TAB wants people to turn over money. If they're betting on a horse and it wins, gets second by a nose.
Yep, they've got some money to have
they've got either out of money for the week, but if they get some back, they're going to turn it over again. So good idea.
So here were the 4 names that were thrown up for this product: Winsurance, Cover Bet, Cashback Odds, Safety Bet. So
what was the second one?
Winsurance. Yeah, Winsurance. So you're basically insuring Winsurance, Cover Bet, Cashback Odds, Safety Bet. So we'll find out what they end up calling it. But let me see what it says. We're close to launching a new fixed odds racing market. This is a fixed odds win market that sits next to the normal fixed odds win market. However, when you select your runner, your bet will automatically be refunded if your horse dog runs second or third. The price will be lower than the normal fixed win price, but it will be available in account and retail and almost on every race in New Zealand and overseas. Bets will be refunded as cash, not bonus bets. So I thought that was, and I don't think that product is widely available in Australia from what I can tell.
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't bet with the corporates over there, but that'll be interesting to find out.
Anyway,
every fixed odds race, that'll be interesting because I wonder if you can take multis with them.
I'm sure you'll be able to. Obviously, not same race multis as such, but yeah. So just another way to you rather than maybe taking 4 horses for a place multi, you might take them all for that, and if 2 of them place and 2 of them win, you're still going to get a decent. You probably get more of a collect from the 2 win divies than the 4 place divies multiplied together, because you won't lose because those other those 2 legs become $1 effectively, don't they? They just interesting.
It is. No, I think those sort of things are great. You've got to give them a go, give it a trial for 6 months, see how it goes. Do your evaluations and then drop it or try something else. That's what we need to happen for our New Zealand TAB website. It's interesting that reading Ken Rutherford's article during the week about maybe we should be focusing on the parimutuel, the actual win and place pools rather than the fixed odds pool. They could take out if we were able to get something going there. Any ideas there?
Well, I think we've covered this on this podcast and perhaps on Boys Get Paid. I totally agree. The fixed odds has basically decimated the parimutuel pools. Parimutuel, we're talking tote, obviously. So people are forced to bet now on the fixed odds, and the margin, generally speaking, isn't as great. And the cost to administer fixed odds pools around prices and traders is greater as well. So double whammy there. In a perfect world, I think New Zealand would be better off with parimutuel and exchange betting only, which would certainly put the cat amongst the pigeons, but at least 1, it would reduce cost, and 2, it would increase margin. Would it reduce turnover? Maybe in the short term, but I think as people went back to with the liquidity in the exchange markets, you've got people can get a decent amount on, and the tote pools will hold up to a decent bet. So,
Yeah.
so interesting. Maybe
Well,
we've missed that boat now, but
no, two things on that topic. There was talk of not a world tote pool, but maybe a combined Australian tote pool, wasn't there? For all the states.
correct. Well, it would be good.
Be good.
A world tote pool would be perfect, wouldn't it?
Oh, fantastic. That would be
Yeah.
terrific. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they could do it legally, but say for New Zealand racing, we've got say we had a race at Te Rapa tomorrow, an R62 race, 12 horses. Could legally the TAB seed that race with $10,000 and set the prices with that money in the tote? So, for example, if an obvious paper was going to be a $3 chance, they would put enough on that horse to show $3 and the rest similar to a fixed odds field. Then as money came into the race, and Paul got to say it started off with that $10,000 seed, got to $15,000, then automatically 10% of the money settled in would be taken out. So the prices wouldn't actually be affected, but people would see a fair price and be able to, I guess, but have some confidence in the price.
That would obviously require a legislative change,
Right.
but yeah, definitely possible. Yeah, I think it's the time where these sorts of ideas need to be considered, and maybe that's where the TAB of late in that last 5 years has not wanted any feedback, believing that their ideas were the best ideas, and maybe now is the time for management to go, actually, well, maybe we do need to listen to some other ideas and take on board, and maybe that's where this new product has come from. Who knows? But yeah, it's anything's possible, I guess, with the right legislation, and punters obviously knowing that the pool, I guess has to be some criteria around when they can take money back out and how much, so you know exactly what you're still dealing with in terms of pool size at any particular time in the betting. So, yep, no, that's all good, Neil. What else shall we talk about? Have you got any other bouquets or brickbats you want to fire out this week? Go on.
Yeah,
I can see it there.
I was trying to put a bet on last night, just a trifecta. We're packing them somewhere. And I clicked on select field and nothing came up. I just tried it again, changed browser I went from Firefox to Chrome, still didn't work. Went to the next race, and worked in the next race coming out. I thought, well, there's money that, I don't know if that's happening a lot with punters, I don't know, but it just shouldn't happen. It just brushes you off, and you can see why people think, stuff this, I'll go and use it.
Probably in those situations, be good to just, well, when we can, I think the help desk, are they taking phone calls again? Or
I don't think so. It's all email now, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to email someone unless you take screenshots.
Right.
But yeah, I guess go to the help desk, say, hey, this happened last night. Do you have any remedies?
That did cross my mind, actually. I thought, I thought, how you say, you've got to email, take screenshots. Can't be bothered. Just
I think it's easier when you're on the phone. You just ring someone up and say, hey, I tried this. People, and it's more instant with the phone situation. Yeah, interesting, actually. Basically, the majority of the employees of those that are left at Rita are still working from home, which is interesting. So
good cost-cutting feature now, but Tony must cost a lot of money to upkeep.
Well, the building's still there, but yeah.
But wasn't the building sold? Don't they lease the building, don't they? Wasn't that Chris Bayless's idea a few years ago?
That was well, maybe they do. Yeah, I know they sold the one up at Ellerslie, across the road from Ellerslie there. But who knows? Who knows? But probably less. What's that?
How about yourself, or a brickbat or a bouquet?
Well, I just gave them a bouquet. I'm a bit hesitant, but hesitant to give too many brickbats. I tell you what, I did see a good horse run around. Two good horses run around during the week, Neil. I think you want to touch on one of them.
Oh, yeah, very good horses.
I'll touch on the one from yesterday, actually, and a horse called Grandiflora.
Oh, yeah.
Fresh up in Australia. Was highly touted here in New Zealand when trained by the James Wellwood stable. Ran in a couple of black type races. Went to Seymour in a very weak midweek field and $2. Oh, we enjoyed that. But you liked one that was paying a bit more than $2.
I'll tell you what, they grand for on the tune, they would have been,
No.
come on, it must have been, because I was on too. And running, it actually drifted out quite a bit. That's something else the TAB should, well, they have got it on their things to be able to do, isn't it? And running betting.
Yeah, that requires legislation to be able to bring that in. Yeah, but yeah, exactly. Well, I did wonder. I didn't watch the in-play betting. What did it get out to, about threes or something?
Oh, low threes. Yeah.
You'd have to be quick though, because within 2 strides it would have been back into $1.50, $1.20.
I'm quick.
Oh, he got on. Well done.
Another one was BT Junior during the week. What was it paying? $100 and something and $10 or $15?
Yeah, if you looked in the right places, over $100s. He runs second. Could you believe that, Neil? The old
had him in the quaddie, but he was truly got his backside kicked, but a damn good race. So I wonder if he's going to go over sticks, is it?
Yeah. I'm not sure whether it'll be next start, but definitely this campaign might be next start. I haven't heard the latest plan, but good. Our old friend BT still performing in Oz, albeit at a pretty low level in terms of quality of horse. But hey, still nice to see. It was a $35,000 race, so it's basically like an open handicap here in New Zealand. So puts a bit of money in the owners' pockets.
There was talk. I was speaking to someone in the Canterbury area during the week too, and said they wouldn't be surprised. In fact, they would be astounded if racing didn't start earlier there. They've got plenty of horses all ready to go. The tracks are really good. The horses have been able to get fit quicker than normally. So don't be surprised if they start up racing there earlier. There may be harness too, I've heard too, may start up much earlier.
Well, harness is starting next Thursday, so.
It is definitely, it was going to be Friday.
Was it? Oh, Thursday in Cambridge.
No, it's Friday. Addington is the first one. Cambridge was Sunday, and Invercargill Saturday. So I'm doing all the sectionals. Well, we're doing the sectionals for our trots too. I'm mentioning that now. We're doing them for Invercargill, trots in Cambridge, and I've yet to hear back from Auckland of Pure Directional. Still going to do theirs, and Stride Master is still going to be used for Addington. Harness followers, you can look forward to getting those sectionals for those meetings.
I was thinking this morning, Neil, if you were Craig the Whale Thompson, or if you were Des Coppins, you haven't had a business for 2 months, have you? Because you only do New Zealand harness or New Zealand gallops, whereas the ambidextrous, multi-talented, tri-coded Neil Davis has just carried on. So well played there, Neil, and I guess using a website platform as opposed to an 0900 line also helps, but definitely having those multiple strings to your bow has worked out well in this time of change, shall we say.
Yeah. No, I had a few emails from subscribers too, thanking me for doing that, and I think a lot of people have grown to like the Australian racing because I'm mainly New Zealand followers, but I'm focusing on those Australian horses week out, week in. So it's been really good. All the information is there, the replays, the previews. It's going to be hard to go back to the heavy 15 at wherever at Rickett whenever it starts up, but hopefully we don't. But I don't know. At least we've got that choice, haven't we? So if New Zealand racing does turn to custom, that's where I'll be heading as Australian racing.
You're not going to move over there, are you, Neil?
Well, yeah, now it's a bit warmer, but had a frost here this morning. Bugger those frosts.
Yeah, it's been a bit chilly, but hey.
Never say never.
No, well, that's true. I guess, hey, we can still do Zoom meetings from wherever we are in the world, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. You're doing yours from where? Where you doing this from? Your girlfriend's place or your mistress's place?
Settle down.
Sorry.
No. We're back in the Wanganui today, so beautiful day out there. It's been amazing weather. Might go along. Actually, we're allowed back at the track tonight at the Greyhounds. No back of the ute, standing over the back fence trying to capture a bit of vision. We are allowed on course as a restaurant and having a restaurant booking there. So good to be back on track as such.
Well, that's a good idea. Like the Gallops could do that, couldn't they, when they get back on the trot, as long as they have a meal and sit down?
Well, I think it's still limited to 100. So I guess the
Is it?
greyhounds, you're normally safe 100 on an average night's about, you're not going to exceed that. Gallops and trots, obviously, greater chance of exceeding it. But hey, let's hope we're getting
Yeah.
off topic. We're getting off topic here, Neil. But let's hope these numbers continue the way they're heading, and that number gets lifted to 500 before long. And then definitely you could have members and owners invited to the track, and who knows how long it will be before we're allowed 20,000 back on course. It'll
Amazing,
be
wouldn't it?
it'll be
Amazing.
bloody good, I have to say.
Yeah, no, looking forward to it. Yeah, okay. Well, everybody, good luck. Good luck to us with the quaddies if you're in that syndicate in the next few weeks. I'm doing my best, and we'll cross our fingers and cross our legs. Don't cross your eyes. You won't see that last leg of the quaddie. Yeah, the last leg tomorrow is going to be really interesting.
Oh,
We're going to be live. I virtually guarantee we'll be live going to the last leg. So.
There's a horse in that last leg, Neil.
Down the bottom?
Yep. Well, I wasn't going to talk about it, but he sold the horse called Master Montaro.
Yeah.
Friends of mine had a share in it.
Yeah.
They sold it for $1.5 million. So the money's in the bank, and it needs to win again to qualify to go up to Hong Kong. So it's a very highly regarded horse. Won very well on debut at Pakenham. 1100 definitely still short of its best, but it's been kept fresh. Yep. So I would be disappointed, Neil, if you didn't have that in the last leg of the quaddie.
No, it's definitely going to be. And actually, it sort of reminds me of you when you're heyday. He's a big, strong, athletic-looking type. And,
get out of here.
He's a top horse. He looks the part, so we'll definitely be on him. And $1.5 million.
Yeah.
Total price or share? Was it a share? Do you know?
No. That was the total price. So they paid $300,000 as a at the yearling sales, and then won't go into the details, but a few people that you and I know well ended up getting a small share, and within a year, their investment turned into 1.5 million. So
that's a good story.
Not a bad little result for a maiden Pakenham winner.
Yeah, well, he's paying 10s tomorrow. You put 100,000 on him, there's another million.
Easy as.
That's going to be charging home too, man. Looking forward to that race. Anyway, we've rambled on a bit there. So anyway, everybody, good luck tomorrow and have a great weekend.